I am going to show you today a DIY Scrubba that I tried out just this past week. If you're not familiar, a Scrubba is actually a wash bag that allows you to do laundry just about anywhere where you have water. First of all, what you'll need is basically just a dry bag. So I got mine actually at Dollarama. It cost me $3. Next thing you'll need is detergent and then a towel. So, and some water, of course. So my detergent I got in these single serve individual packages from Walmart, and they're perfect for traveling. So I'm just going to put my dirty clothes in the dry bag, which will very quickly become a wet bag. I've got just a baby shirt, a pair of yoga pants, and then a tank top. So I'm not doing very much to begin with. You'll notice. I would say maybe one day's worth of clothes should be fine. Just throw the water in there, and then put the detergent in. Again, I have the individual packages of detergent. You don't need a ton, just very little. Some people have suggested just 1 or 2 drops of detergent, and in fact others have suggested that you can use just about any soap you have, shampoo or whatever. I really like Tide just because it has that Tide smell, and so you know that your clothes are really clean. So then you just roll down the top and just agitate it basically, which is what your washing machine does. Just shake it around, get the water and the soap all mixed up with your clothes there. Give it a good toss, and then I'm gonna just stick my hand in there and just make sure that the clothes are well soaked. Just make sure that the water is covering them, that they're soaking up the water, and that the soap is mixing into each part of each piece of clothing. So I'm going to roll it up again after squishing out a little bit of the air. And just agitate it a little bit more. And now I'm just going to leave it for a few minutes. I left mine for about 5 to 10 minutes just to let it sit and soak in. And then of course I'm going to come back with more clean water. And we're going to start to rinse the clothing. I'll just give it another quick shake. At this point, the clothes have soaked up a lot of the water, and now I'm just using the rock to kind of knead the clothes around and kind of use that rock as a washboard. And that rock is handy there with that edge, so that it can really allow me to kind of scrub the clothes in the bag. So you'll notice that I really haven't got my hands wet too much, just once or twice, and through the whole process. And so this is a nice contained way to kind of get your clothes clean without making too much of a mess. And you could use this like in a hostel room or a hotel room or wherever, if you don't want to wash your clothes in the sink, or if you don't have access to a bathroom, or at least prolonged access to a bathroom, you could do this right in your room. As long as you have a place to dump the water at the different stages, and whether it's outside or down a sink or wherever. So now I'm just squeezing as much water out as I can get. And there's a little bit coming out. You can't really see it because of the angle of the camera, but there is water coming out there. And I'm just trying to get out as much out as I possibly can. And now I'm going to put in the clean water to start to rinse the clothes. And I'm using twice as much water. Now that's not actual bottled Dasani. I've just reused that bottle there, so no worries. I'm not using bottled water on my laundry. And at this point, when you're kind of swishing the clothes around, you do want a lot of air in the bag there. But when you're kneading it, and of course swishing the water out, you're going to kind of get rid of that air and push the air out. The actual brand name Scrubba does have a valve actually in the bag for this reason, to control the amount of air you have in the bag. But really, you know, you just unclip the top and squeeze out as much air as you want, or you know, gather some more air in there for when you're tossing it around like this and doing your rinse. And that works just fine. Now I'm just letting all that rinse water out and just squishing those clothes to get as much air out as possible. Sorry, as much water out as possible. And now I'm going to take the clothes out and just kind of wring them out a bit. Now, depending on how delicate your clothes are, you may want to just treat them maybe a little bit more gently than I do. Mine are, you know, camping clothes, so I'm not that worried about, you know, being delicate with them. So, but the point is just to get as much of the water out as possible right now, because you know, obviously a bag like this doesn't have a spin cycle like your washing machine. So I'm just going to get as much water out, and then I'm going to lay them down on my towel, and I'm using a pack towel, which is an ultralight towel, but you can use any towel. And I'm just going to kind of sop as much of the water out as possible, or soak as much of the water out as possible with my towel. And I'll do that for each piece of clothing. So there we go, I've got most of the water out, and once I've done that with all of my pieces of clothing, then I can go and hang them up to dry. I did a pretty good job. It's not washing machine quality, but I'm sure if I maybe let, especially this little shirt, soak a little bit longer. It was actually covered in chocolate ice cream, so there are a few stains there. So that one, I probably could have even pre-soaked that, but you know what, it got a lot of the ice cream out. And then of course the pants and the tank top turned out perfectly, nice and clean. And they smelled fresh too, which is, you know, that's half the battle when you're on, you know, out in the middle of the wilderness, or when you're traveling, is making sure that your clothes smell fresh. So, you know, this is a great solution. Where I am, a brand named Scrubba wash bag cost about $50. I was able to get my dry bag, my no-name dry bag from Dollarama for $3, and then my Tide cost about $1 per individual packet. And of course, you could easily repackage your own laundry detergent from home, make that much cheaper. So for about $4 there, I've got my own DIY Scrubba. I'd love to hear what your experiences are, and if you've tried doing your own laundry while on the road, or while traveling, or while out in the backwoods, and let me know what works for you in the comment section below. All right, we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.